Good afternoon. This is going to be our workshop on beat labeling. So with your worksheet, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go through the steps with me and make sure your paper looks exactly like it's going to look on the board. And I'm going to stop to make sure I can explain why the answers are the way they are. First things first, we have our name column right here, so you feel free to write your name right here. On the top left-hand corner, I'm going to put Mr. M for Mr. McFadder. So when we're beat labeling, our first step is to label the beats at the top of the measure based off of our time signature. So first thing we have to do is we have to look at our time signature. Let's see, how many beats per measure do we have at this time signature? How will we count this piece of music if we look at this time signature? I'll wait for your answer. Yes, we have 4 beats per measure because this top number right here is a 4. So for my first step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to label all the possible beats I have in this measure. So I have my first beat, my second beat, my third beat, and my fourth beat. The next part, and this is going to combine steps 2 and steps 3, is assign or give the beats to the notes or rests that are starting on the left-hand side and make sure that we go in order. And then after we assign one of these beats down to the bottom, we have to cross it out just like we're filling in a puzzle. Alright, so for my first note that I have right here to the left, it is a quarter note. Somebody remind me, how many beats does a quarter note get? Yes, it gets 1 beat. So it's going to get 1 of these beats. Since this quarter note right here is the one that's to the left, I am going to give it beat 1. So I'm going to write a 1 right here. Then I'm going to cross it out because this is my first quarter note. So the only beats I have left in this measure are beats 2, beats 3, and beats 4. Next. My next note is, yes, it is a quarter note. So what I'm going to do is out of these beats, because we have to go in order, I have to figure out what number this quarter note will get. And yes, it will get beat 2. So I'll write a 2 down here and I cross it out on top. What beats are left? Yep, it's beat 3. And beat 4. I look at my next note and it's another quarter note. So I know that I'm going to have to give this quarter note beat 3 because a quarter note only gets 1 beat. Alright, and for the last one, I am going to go ahead and mark down beat 4 because I know a quarter note gets 1 beat and that's going to take up beat 4. And down here, I have completely labeled the beats for this measure. This down here will be our final answer. So instead of saying ta, 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 when we will clap this, now what we can do when we clap it or play it, we can say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's practice that together. You ready? 1, 2, ready? Count the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, good job. We're moving on. So we're going to do the same step with our next measure right here. So we already know that there's 4 beats for each measure. So I'm going to go and name all the possible beats. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We put it at the top. Mind you, this isn't our answer. Remember, our answer is at the bottom, so we have to figure it out. Our first note is a quarter note. So since it's a quarter note, I know it's going to get 1 beat. I'm going to go ahead and cross this out. And I'm going to put a 1 right here, just like I did in the last measure. Now this next part is tricky. What is this? Yes, it is a quarter rest. And a quarter rest is where we don't do anything. The music takes a break. But just because it's taking a break does not mean that it doesn't get a beat. It does get a beat. This quarter rest means we're silent for one beat. So now I got to figure out which beat in the measure we're going to be silent for. What comes after beat 1? Yes, beat 2, you're right. So I'll write my 2 down right here, and then I cross it out. Now, since this is a silent beat, we're going to put something special around this called parentheses. Everybody say parentheses. Parentheses. So now that I know that I'm going to put parentheses around this, I'm just going to put these special marks right here. They look like little curves. And these marks are going to let me know that I am going to be quiet during beat 2. What do these marks let me know? Yes, that we're going to be quiet during beat 2. Next, we only have beats 3 and 4 left. And our next note is a quarter note. And this has to get beat 3. Yes, because we always go in order for our beats. We never go beat 1 and then go to beat 3. We always have to go through beat 2 to get to beat 3. Capiche? Alright. So since we go in order, we have a quarter rest right here. And since it gets 1 beat, it can only possibly get beat 4. Alright, great job. And remember the beats, if you're noticing, even if we have a rest, it always goes in order. And Mr. McFadden almost forgot to put his parentheses right there, but he made correct the mistake. So we always put our parentheses for a rest, and we always make sure we go in order. The numbers are always going to be going in order. All right. So for this next measure, I'm going to start with my first step, which is writing all my beats out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. What comes first? Yes, this time it's the quarter rest. Quarter rest still only gets 1 beat. So I'm going to cross this out. I'm going to put my first beat right here because we always go in order. We always do what? We go in. Yes, we always go in order. So since this is a rest, I have to make sure I put parentheses around it to make sure I know that I am quiet. Next. Yes, I think you guys get the hang of it. Yes, this is a quarter note, and this will get beat 2. Do I put parentheses around this? No, we don't, because we're actually going to play or perform this quarter note. Whether we're clapping, playing an instrument, or singing, we're going to play or sing this quarter note. Next, we have, yes, it's another rest. So what I am going to do is I am going to put beat 3 down here because I know this quarter note only gets 1 beat. And I'm going to cross it out. Yes, beat 4 would be next. Great job. Beat 4 would be next, and I'm going to cross it out. And again, make sure your paper looks exactly like mine. All right, so we have our last measure, and it has a lot of rest. Make sure you don't get tricked. All right. As always, I'm going to start out with my first step, which is writing out all of my counts. So right here in the beginning, I have a rest. And just because it's a rest, I still have to give it a beat. And since it's in the beginning and we always go in order, I'm going to give it beat 1. Now cross out my 1 up here. And I can't forget to put my parentheses. Let's play a fun game really quickly. Nah, we're not going to do that. Next, I'm going to see, I have a quarter rest right here. And I'm going to give this beat 2 because it's next in line. What will be next? Yes, beat 3. Do we put parentheses around this as well? Good job, you didn't get tricked. We don't put parentheses because we're actually playing this note. We're playing this note on beat 3. So I'm going to cross this out. And yes, our last one will be a rest on beat 4. Great job. All right, wake this up. And I can't forget to put my parentheses around it. And I'll cross this out up top. And this is how you correctly write your counts underneath your measure. Really quickly, we're going to, now that we're finished with our work, what we're going to do is we're going to clap with the numbers and say this passage. Only using our numbers. We won't use our Takademi this time. We're going to use our numbers. What are we using? R. Yep. And we're going to start all the way right here at measure 1. And we're going to keep going all the way through. We'll go nice and slow. 1, 2, ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, shh, 3, shh, shh, 2, shh, 4, shh, shh, shh. Ooh, Mr. McFadden made a mistake. Where did he make a mistake? Yep, right here. He was supposed to play beat 3, but he didn't play beat 3. So let's start right here at this measure right here. 1, 2, ready, starting right here. Shh, shh, shh. All right, let's do this one more time, all the way from the beginning. Mr. McFadden won't make a mistake this time. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, shh, 3, shh, shh, 2, shh, 4, shh, shh, shh. All right, great job, guys. So make sure you remember this. Ask Mr. McFadden if you have any questions about the skill. This is going to be very important when it comes to composition. I hope you guys have a wonderful and fantastic day. Have a good one.